I have not learned how to play that yet, but I did just get it at the thrift store and I'm very excited about it. Okay, anyway. Hello and welcome back. Hello and welcome back to this channel. I'm working on getting some new tarot decks and oracle cards to kind of diversify the readings a little bit and give a little bit more texture to them. I love working with different energies, and I think it's really powerful to know kind of what you're working with and what energies are present through those different archetypes or energies. So we will be incorporating that soon. I don't have those cards yet. So for now, we're just going to go and pull from these 4 decks that I have decided on. I have plenty of decks. I think I have like 17 decks or something. But it's always nice to have those like supporting pulls in a reading. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Let me grab one more deck. Deja vu. Oh my god. Full fucking circle, bro. Full fucking circle. Wow, that was insane. That was insane. Anyway. Hello. So if you've never been here before, or if you've never had a reading done before, that's beautiful. You are in good hands. And we do this for the highest good of all. We read the collective energy in a way that is non-invasive and that allows for free will and decisions to be made. This is not a prediction of the future. However, it is guidance along your journey. We have some candles lit, some beeswax, which are purifying the air. We'll leave this here. All right, let's get into it. So on Mondays, this is the Moonday collective reading. On Mondays, I like to just pull and see what energies we may, let me make sure this is on. Yeah. I like to pull and see what energies may be impactful or helpful for us this week. Just to kind of give us some guidance for this week. Okay, this is interesting. So it's not a good time to start something new right now. I don't know if you know anything about the planetary conjunctions right now, but there's a lot going on. Neptune's doing its thing. We got Pisces, really heavy. A lot of planets in Pisces is what I'm saying. There's a planetary alignment also happening with Mercury that's going to happen in the coming weeks and months. We're going to feel the effects of that. It's the alignment of those 6 planets. I'm not sure if you've seen that. But the energy right now is great for what we call in gardening tilling, which is like raking through the soil and getting out any impurities, making sure the space for your seeds is really formidable and able to grow. But this isn't a process where you're like raking and being really aggressive. It's actually a process where you have to be very mindful about the way that you're tending to the soil. And so right now we have the Ace of Cups reversed, we have the Eight of Wands reversed, and we have the Three of Wands reversed. And so what this is telling me is we also have this clarifying Page of Pentacles reversed. So right now is not the time to be starting something new. Right now is not the time to be embarking on a new endeavor, going off on your own. With the volatility of what's going on right now in the planets and also in the collective as a result, there's a lot of risk. And not that risk is bad, right? Because risk isn't bad, but there's a lot of unnecessary risk that is present right now. And so right now, what is at the forefront is nurturing these relationships that you have currently, especially in the home, learning to see things from a new perspective and learning to be a little bit more objective in the way that you approach things. And also, we have the world here on the bottom of the deck as I've been sitting here and shuffling. That was the first time I looked. And I channeled something yesterday that was saying, like, our emotions are our emotions and they're amazing guidance, right? But they are not definite truths. They are impacted and they shift and they change. And so, yeah, with the world, and I just split the deck to the Wheel of Fortune. It's like we're going in this cycle right now and we're completing a cycle, and that's why it's not the time to start something new. Even though all these planets are shifting, it's kind of like delayed to us. So we're still in the completion of this cycle and it's coming to a close. But there's a heavy focus on relationships right now and 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 our emotions in relationships, meaning that, like, a lot of the time we have perceptions of people, and because we have those perceptions of people or groups of people, we project that outwardly, and so that is what we see. Regardless if that's the truth or not, we create that feedback loop with our emotional reactions. And so that's why being objective, being a little bit more like curious about, like, oh, is this really the truth? Oh, is this emotion really telling me the truth, or is it just showing me my relation to my own inner being? And the answer is yes. Your inner being loves all, is one with all, is at peace with all. And so when we have these emotions that are like, it's like Eight of Swords, it's like keeping ourselves, this was behind the Wheel of Fortune, it's like keeping ourselves behind or tied up, and it's a protection mechanism is what it is. We're afraid to let people close to us, but the world is spinning, right? The hangman upside down here. We know what's going on. We have this insight. And so now is our time to shift the wheel, to walk in a new direction, to begin to think differently about our relationships. Yeah. And so this new communication, this new way of speaking, this new way of expression, instead of being reactive and emotionally volatile, we can learn to kind of not hide, but almost like mask. We have 4 pentacles here upside down. It's not like masking in a way where you're like hiding something. It's more like masking in a way where you're not revealing the whole truth yet. You're not opposed to revealing the whole truth or how you truly feel, but you're open to remaining objective. You're not rushing into this. And this, just having a general rule of thumb like this in relationships, in any endeavor that you go into, is going to make you more successful. It's going to really nurture your inner child. It's going to bring together this masculine and feminine energy. We have the King of Pentacles and the High Priestess here. So it's okay to take a beat. It's okay to not rush in. It's okay if there are delays. That does not mean you are not on the path. That does not mean you are not on the path. Right now is a time of getting your shit together, getting your coins in order, learning how to really operate as this King of Pentacles energy, and when you aren't so quick to rush into things, you're naturally going to omit this. It's also a time of learning. It's also a time of gaining the knowledge to go forth in your endeavors and to end the battle within. Especially, I'm seeing this as more masculine. So this could either be with a masculine figure, or it could be the way that you're communicating, the way that you are showing up in your routines. It doesn't have to be so rigid. It doesn't have to be this fight. It doesn't have to be something where you're constantly at a loss. It is only your perception that makes it a loss. If you have this overarching idea that things are always working out for you, even a loss will seem like it's working out in your benefit. Yeah, it's like there's an emotional transformation that's happening in this period. There's a sense of isolation that's ending, but also a sense of urgency that's ending. Not urgency as in like, it's like a false urgency. It's like needing to do things in order to please others. And then this leads you to burnout and wanting to be alone. And it's given you a lot of strength to be able to do this, but it's not the path forward of your inner being, of your highest self. The path towards your ultimate abundance comes with this new spark. As this wheel turns, you're going to be able to master these emotions. Yes, both masculine and feminine. And this is going to give a new way to the way that you show up um, in the physical, but also in terms of like finances, business, the way that you take care of, and the way that you acquire physical items. And I see that this is kind of like something that you don't really talk about, you don't really address. You may not even really realize that this is happening in your subconscious. It seems like this you know that this is happening, but it's kind of like hidden from you. And yeah, you're coming out as like on top. There's going to be justice that's served, but it's not necessarily externalized justice. It's going to be justice between you and you. you're finally going to feel like you have the control, that you have the capacity, but also the means to ride into this victory. Yeah, this is a completion of a cycle, and it's a delayed cycle. So this cycle could have started maybe even like 14, 15 years ago. And could have been more recent, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I guarantee it's probably the first, but it's like you weren't aware of it then. But it's like this culmination of a cycle, all of this energy, it's been really delayed. But you're stepping out of being the fool. But you know what happens when you have victory and you get this justice? You become the fool again. And so it's going to be a shift in the way that you're showing up, and it may seem a little frightening. So we're gonna pull some guidance cards. This is the Ask Your Guides Oracle deck, and then the medicine cards. I'm gonna do one animal from the medicine cards, and then we'll do a little bit of a spread from the Ask Your Guides. And then we'll do one oracle card from the Lightworker Oracle. Just as some guidance as you kind of have this emotional breakthrough. Who is or what is here to support you during that time? And how can we work with them? The Raven. Okay. Okay. So immediately, the Raven is like a bridge between worlds. Go ahead and read from here. Raven, black as pitch, mystical as the moon, speak to me of magic, I will fly with you soon. Throughout time, Raven has carried the medicine of magic. This has been true in many cultures across the planet. It is sacred in the medicine ways to honor Raven as the bringer of magic. If the magic is bad medicine, the carrier may be honored out of fear rather than respect. Ooh, and I feel that you're transitioning from honoring people out of fear into respect. And this is because you've learned to do this with yourself. Oh, that's so beautiful. Those who fear Raven may do so because they've been dabbling in areas in which they had no knowledge, and a spell may have backfired on them. Rather than analyzing the dark side of sorcery, realize that you will fear Raven only if you need to learn about your inner fears or self-created demons. Raven magic is a powerful medicine that can give you the courage to enter the darkness of the void, which is the home of all that is not yet in form. The void is called the Great Mystery. The Great Mystery is here to support you during this time as well. Great Mystery existed before all other things came into being. Great Spirit lives inside the void and emerged from the Great Mystery. Raven is the messenger of the void. If Raven appears in your spread, you're about to experience a change in consciousness. This may involve walking inside the Great Mystery on another path at the edge of time. It would portend a signal brought by the Raven that says, you have earned the right to see the experience. You have earned the right to see and experience a little more of life's magic. Raven's color is the color of the void, the black hole in space that holds all the energy of the creative source. In native teachings, the color black means many things, but it does not mean evil. Black can mean the seeking of answers, the void, or the road of the spiritual or non-physical. The blue-black of the raven contains an iridescence that speaks of the magic of darkness and a changeability of form and shape that brings an awakening in the process. Raven is the guardian of ceremonial magic and in absentia healing. In any healing circle, Raven is present. Raven guides the magic of healing and the changing consciousness that will bring about a new reality and dispel disease or illness. Raven brings in the new state of wellness from the void of great mystery and the field of plenty. Raven is the messenger that carries all energy flows of ceremonial magic between the ceremony itself and the intended destination. For instance, if a ceremony is being performed to send energy to a disaster area where people need courage and strength, Raven would be the courier for that energy flow. The intention could be to allow the people of the devastated areas to feel the concern and support of the participants in the ceremony. If you have chosen Raven, magic is in the air. Do not try to figure it out, you cannot. It is the power of the unknown at work, and something special is about to happen. The deeper mystery, however, is how you will respond to the sparkling synchronicity of this alchemical moment. Will you recognize it and use it to further enhance your growth? Can you accept it as a gift from the Great Spirit? Or will you limit the power of the great mystery by explaining it away? It may be time to call Raven as a courier to carry an intention, some healing energy, a thought, or a message. You can even do this like backwards in time to yourself. Raven is the patron of smoke. Raven is the patron of smoke signals or spirit messages represented by smoke. So if you want to send a message to the Blue Road of Spirit in order to contact the ancients, call Raven. Or, who knows, the ancients may be calling to you. Remember, this magic moment came from the void of darkness, and the challenge is to bring it to light. In doing so, you will have honored the magic within. Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna pull from our Ask Your Guides deck. Yeah. Okay, so we've kind of been focused on the beauty and the amazing transformation and shift that's happening, but there's also another component to this. There's a component of loss. There's a component of having to grieve your old self and make decisions about what it is that you're losing, because yeah, and this is going to usher in your new community. I see that there are some relationships that really need nurturing at this time, and then there are other relationships where your energy is no longer going to support the connection, and that's okay. But there's a period of loss and grief that happens in that situation, and it's not necessarily about it can be about losing the person or about grieving the state of the relationship or maybe the whole relationship in general, but it's also about learning or recognizing that there's an aspect of you that you're also grieving. There's an aspect of you that you're also losing as you embark on this transitory period. And it might feel constricting. It might feel like you're kind of limited in the ways that you can show up for people, especially in terms of community. You may have been one person to kind of, yeah, you may have been someone who kind of likes to serve everyone, who wants to help everyone. And to truly utilize your life force and walk in your purpose, there needs to be refinement of this. And so that means that you're going to have to let people go. There are going to be people that you can't serve. There are going to be people that you feel like you're losing, and maybe you never even like really connected with them. See this a lot in business owners who shift their messaging and tighten in on their messaging. There's like this like fear of so you may be doing this. There's this fear of like, oh, but if I only speak to one person, then I'm going to miss out on all of these people. And that's deceitful. It's this discipline that actually allows your imagination to better fill the containers, and it's what gives you your competitive edge. So it's okay to tell people that you're not for them. It's okay to be like, no, I'm not operating business in that way. It's okay to kind of restrict people, or say no to people, or say goodbye to people, or fire clients, or tighten up your messaging to a point where you don't attract those lower level clients, or those, it's not that they're lower level, it's just they're not the client for you anymore. And this could be in your relationships as well. So maybe there's like a relationship where you're not really truly being accepted or appreciated, and it's okay for you to let go of this, because letting go of it doesn't mean the community's not there. You'll always get what you look for, right? So if you trust that letting go actually leads to building more community, that will happen for you. All right, so we're going to pull one more card from the Lightworker Oracle. This one I'm just going to read from the deck. There's a lot of feminine energy as well, and ancestral support here. You're really like healing and learning in the completion of this cycle. And although it may feel kind of restricting, it's like your higher self is just here to support you in making these decisions. Okay, so last week we got the Dark Angel card, and that card actually popped out again. I'm not going to read that card today. I'm going to pull another one, but if you're curious about that card, definitely go check out last week's reading. Okay. It might have been 2 weeks ago, actually, for the Dark Angel card. Okay, so we have number 21, Spiritual Service. Oh, this is a beautiful card. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but spiritual service. Self-doubt can be a habit that is hard to break. It can also slow down your spiritual progress and the fulfillment of your life purpose. Ultimately, it won't stop you, but it can make your progress seem more challenging. It's easier to fulfill your purpose when you acknowledge your own goodness and talent and do what you love to the best of your ability. Honing in, establishing that creative zone of genius, and allowing everything else to kind of just fall away. Realize that you are enough, that your work is good, and that you have something of value to offer. Oh, and owning your value has been such a big message that's been coming through recently. It's time to let go of fear of failure, concern about your ability, and your right to live a happy and fulfilled life of success. The universe believes in you. There's this support that's here for you. You're being called to service beyond that which you have accomplished thus far. That is because you are ready, capable, and willing to step up to another level of spiritual responsibility and freedom. Your mind, however, may question your ability. You may be afraid that you cannot perform well enough, that you are not skilled or experienced enough, that you are not as good as others, or that you do not have enough value to offer. These are nothing more than wounded beliefs about your self-worth. It is time to recognize this wounding and not empower these beliefs as truths anymore. Excuses Be Gone is a great book I've been reading too. It's by Wayne Dyer, and it touches right on that. Be kind to your mind. It will be happier without such beliefs. You can free yourself from the pain they cause and become more realistic about your gifts and your potential. Now it is time for you to trust love more than your wounds. Trust in the support that's there for you rather than the excuses of why it's not. There's something in that book where he talks about you can choose to believe in the excuse or the thing that isn't empowering, or you can choose to believe in the opposite. The likelihood of either is about the same, so why not choose to believe in what supports you and what empowers you? As you release these old beliefs, you create more space within you to receive impressions of how you can most joyfully serve the greater good. No longer hampered by undermining and draining beliefs and self-doubt, you will have more energy to act on your intuition and guidance. If at any time you find yourself blocked by fear or performance anxiety, it can be helpful to release these blocks by simply asking yourself how you could best serve the greater good at this time. He also talks about this in that book. The answer to this question will never be to shrink back in fear. It will always be to choose belief over doubt. It will be to move ahead. To take the opportunity offered to you as a vote of confidence from the universe. This realization will bring you peace of mind so you can resume your progress and share what you have with the world. If you have been working hard, taking the opportunities that have come to you and are still feeling as though you are not quite where you wish to be in terms of fulfilling your life purpose and divine destiny, you are now asked to acknowledge all that you have attained so far. Write it down. Let yourself bask in it. Acknowledge all the people you have assisted in your own special way, all the positive influence of love that you have added to the collective human soul through your willingness to take your spiritual journey. Open your heart and care about life on earth. Your spiritual service has been noticed by the spiritual worlds, and you will be empowered to serve in increasingly beautiful ways. Your service is already successful and will only increase in potency, power, and peace. And here's the invocation that we will end with here today. I'm going to say it slowly so you can repeat after me if you like. Universe, I love you. How can I serve you? Before we go further, when you open yourself up to serving something bigger than you, it opens something bigger than you up to serving you. You start thinking like your inner being. You start thinking like your source. And this is what bridges the gap and creates that potential through you. Okay, side note. Invocation time. Universe, I love you. How can I serve you? I accept love's protection and love's purpose in my heart, in my life. Love empowers and protects me, gives me purpose and passion, peace and play. I believe in love. I am love. And I believe in me. May the joy of helping others give me energy and courage to continue to serve and grow spiritually. May all beings receive your love and be healed through your grace. May all those who want to be May all those who want to serve be empowered through mercy, compassion, joy, and love to do so for the greater good. Through my own free will, so be it. Beautiful. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm going to show you our spread quickly. Okay. Spiritual service. These were kind of clarifying cards. We have two of cups here. There may also be, I'm looking back at this now, there may also be some tough conversations happening at this time, and that's okay. All right. Thank you for being here with us, and I will see you next week.